Hello, friends, and Charlie Chen. This is James Stoner for Exam 2 coming up. We're gonna turn up the music a little bit. Alright, now let's get started. The first thing we want to do is step 1, identifying the problem. So, this came in our A6. So, let me go ahead and bring that over wherever it is. Here we go. So this was our Moscow, and then down here we had our planning poker story points, and then of course our Kaban board. Very cool background there. So for our Moscow, let's see what. Explain how you're. Okay, so we have a must have, should have, could have, and won't have, and then our product backlog here. So for the must have, we want to analyze our daily sales to identify the peak and low business periods, and correlation between hourly sales and staffing levels to identify overstaff and understaff periods. That is a must-have. Should have, we want to access the relationship between customer wait times and daily sales, and I want to implement data-driven staff changes. That's our should have. Could have, I want to utilize historical sales data to predict future sales data, aligning them with the staffing needs. Or won't have. Predict future customer wait times based on sales to ensure customers are served quickly here. So then, our poker story points. Basically, what was the best here? And you can see that here we go. So basically the same things from above, and story point average. The best average was. I want to implement data-driven staff changes, refining staffing strategy to ensure lowest possible wait times for customers, especially during peak sale wait times, which makes sense. So let's carry on to that was step 1. Now let's do step 2. Step 2 is I don't know why that opened. Just gonna click no and no and no. Step 2 is the Tableau prep. So let's go ahead and restart it. Tableau prep. Let's not save that. Okay, so let's connect to our data. First of all, we already cleaned the data using Python because we thought that would be easier. So you can see here we had 2 different datas, and we concatenated them, putting them on top of each other, and then changed it to date time, and then made sure they were all right, and there's about 8,000. And here, because the COVID data was messing everything up and wouldn't make our flow right, we decided to just delete the COVID data and actually just put all the data together and make it flow again. So here should be 2018, but we've deleted a big part of the data there to make it flow again because the COVID data was just going to mess everything up. So we decided just to take it out, and that was the easiest thing to do instead of make fake data. And as you see later in the video, it actually works out pretty well. So that's our cleaning the data using this. So let's go ahead and open up that. And here, we are going to, let's add a cleaning. Let's get rid of this change. We don't need that. Remove unwanted data before sampling. So we did that with VS Code, but we can also remove some fields here that we don't want. So quantity, all these fields are pretty necessary to have. There's nothing that we don't want to do not want to get rid of. As for the sampling option, we can come over to the data sample and random and quick select. We do not want a random sample. I can just show you in this little graph we plotted, because if we have a random sample, it's going to mess up the seasonality here. As you can see, these are fall breaks or summer breaks, like one summer break, one summer break, one summer break, and this is Christmas break, Christmas break, Christmas break. And if we just take random samples of that, then we probably will mess up the seasonality, hence why we are just going to do quick select. review your output and data. And here we cleaned it. Well, we already have it cleaned, so I was just using the sampling as Tableau prep for the sample one. So let's go ahead and open our data in Tableau for step 3. Well, step 3 is examine, filter, and cleanse, shape, and combine the data. We did all that already. So let's go ahead and just open it up and look at the data we have here. Here we go. So let's just look at it by net sales and month to date. That's the year. Let's choose by month. So here is all the months put together. Obviously, you can see that after people come back from break, February, getting lots of coffee, March, and that makes sense, hot coffee in the winter. May starts to go down because people are leaving. June, almost nothing, and boom, start of it again. And then we have Christmas break. So that's by the date combined, by the month combined, but we can further do this and see more seasonality here. You can also see that there's a downward trend and the sales are going down. Now, what might be interesting to look at is, are the sales actually going down or are we making it cheaper? So we can do it by quantity here. And it looks like the quantity and sales are actually going down as the time goes on. So let's look at it by week number to see a little difference here. Well, that's probably a bad one. By day? That's a terrible one. Let's look at it by day here. End of the month. Well, that makes sense because not every month has 31 days. Let's look at it by quarter. Quarter 3 makes sense a lot. Quarter 2, this makes sense because quarter 2 and 3 are halfway in summer. And here, quarter 1 makes the most sense because that's when most of the stuff is going on. So that's step 3, examining the data. Now we are going to actually perform 2 descriptive analytics storylines. So our storylines here are going to be these. I'm just going to go ahead and put them right here on this assignment. Well, I'll just show you right here. So the first one, we have operations manager. I want to analyze our daily sales data to identify peak and low business period needs, which will inform our staffing needs. And then as operations manager, I want to utilize historical sales to predict future sales planning, aligning them with our. So let's go ahead and do that. So for the first one, we want to, well, what's interesting, we can look at date for the first one, and we're going to look at days put together, and then we're just going to look at it by quantity because that makes more sense, or month. So this one tells you what months they are going to need, so we can go ahead and say quantity sold by month. Make it look a little pretty. Make it bold. That looks good to me. Well, let's not do that one. Tableau bold. Center it. Boom. Apply. Then we know what that is, so we don't have to rename it. But what is interesting is now we can go ahead and look at it by time. Time and quantity. Now, obviously this makes sense because 12, this is when school ends and no one's really going to buy it. So the 7 a.m., 8 a.m., 9 a.m., 10 a.m., the peak time. So here we can see the peak time. If we want to do it by minute, to do it a little, oh, minute doesn't actually make, actually minute does make a little sense because most classes start at 60, so you can see people get it 10 minutes before. So minute makes sense, and let's do minute and then hourly. So we'll do the same thing, time, quantity here. We don't need that. And now we can see 7 a.m. 7, basically 9 to 10 is the biggest time. And then you're going to want to have people 10 minutes before. And again, people start class at 30. So about 10 minutes before, there's another peak at the, people like to get their coffee 10 minutes before class. Alright, so that makes sense. Now let's go ahead and let's copy, let's go ahead and make a dashboard of that. Oh, I'm just making a bunch of sheets. No, I'm still making a bunch of sheets. Delete those all together. Dashboard. Let's put all that together. And let's go back, change this. Quantity by minute. Spell quantity right. Quantity. Tableau bold. 22. Oh, 22. Center, apply. Tableau bold, 22, and last center, apply. And now you have your dashboard. So this gives you a lot of good information about it. It tells you what months you probably want people in there, and then it gives you the highest peak time, which is 9 to 10, you can see here. And then it tells you that you're going to need people 10 minutes before class time starts. Again, 10 minutes before class time starts, especially on the hour times. So that covers number 4. Number 5 is talking about this. So I'm going to go ahead and read about the dashboard users. So here, I already wrote some out. So dashboard users, the dashboard users are the operations manager and customer service manager at Beans to Brew. Their informations need is for the operations manager, they need daily sales data to identify peak and low business periods, analyze the correlation between hourly sales and staffing levels to utilize historical sales data for predicting future sales patterns and aligning staffing needs accordingly. The customer service manager is going to require data on the relationship between customer wait times and daily sales, predicting to future customer wait times based on sales and staffing. Data-driven staffing changes to reduce wait times. Their usage and devices, both managers will access the dashboard on their office computers to make informed decisions, strategic plans, comfort, and understanding. As professionals in their roles, they are expected to be comfortable with the data analysis and possess an intermediate to advanced level of understanding to effectively dashboard the insights. Also, it is our job as the data analysts to make sure they understand the data and communicate it effectively to them. Step 6, and I'm going to do that right now. So here you go. Here's my dashboard. It's kind of beautiful. It really does make some informative decisions here. And I'm going to go ahead and end the video. Thank you!